Welcome to Pro Chess class. This is Grandmaster Magesh Panchanathan. So today we have an interesting topic, something that you guys have been asking for at least for a few months. What are we learning? Let's type it in chat. How to use Chessbase. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a poll. Oh, wait, I can't do it. So admin, can you create a poll with a yes or no question? How many people use Chessbase and launch it? I want to know how many in our group here actually use it at this point. It doesn't have to be Chessbase 17 Redeemer. It can be Chessbase 16, like some even older version, 15, doesn't matter. First thing is I want to know how many of you in this group have the habit of using Chessbase. Hold on. We will create a poll in a second. That's where we'll start. For the admin is, are you creating a poll? I just want to make sure. Well, Shravan, we'll talk about Fritz. Fritz is not exactly Chessbase. It's different. We'll talk about it. All right, let's see. Very nice. You give another 15 seconds to answer the poll. Let's go. Just what I kind of expected. Fair enough. All right, time is up. So this is what we got. About half of you, not half, a little less than half use it, but more than half of you do not use it or use it only for some time, right? Fair enough. This is typically what I get from my students in your rating range, right? Mostly when we're looking at players over 2000, I would say this is more like 80-90% of people are using Chessbase. That's actually one of the top indicators for you now, right? If you are a serious player and if you really want to focus on chess, then I would say Chessbase is a good investment. That's the first starting point, right? And if you're buying Chessbase from India, you also get it at a more reasonable price with Chessbase India, which is great, which used to be a big problem before. All right. Wait, I did share the results with all of you, right? Let me see. Oh, now I'm sharing the results with all of you. Okay, so this is what I got as a result. I'll stop the result sharing. Today, we're going to talk about some basics, not in-depth grandmaster level Chessbase use. I'm going to start talking about what Chessbase is and why do you want to use it, and some of the limitations, some of the advantages, and of course, I'll be happy to answer questions. So let me share my screen first. All right, so I'm currently using Chessbase 17, and I have an online login too, which I use when I log in here. It says I'm logged in as GM Magesh. That's my Chessbase online user, which is also something I will show you guys today briefly. There are some tools you can use there, yeah? So we can talk about that too. Great. As you can see, I've downloaded a bunch of things. My Chessbase is a bit messy. You can probably see that with most of the coaches. They have a lot of things going on there. But the first step is, let's start with what level you are and who might need Chessbase, right? Everyone in this group, I think, is either already a serious player or you are looking at chess because it is interesting for you and you might want to make it a serious thing for you, right? Now, if your rating is around 1200, 1300, you're not so sure how many tournaments you're going to play, you're here with Pro Chess because you love to learn chess and you don't know where it's going, then maybe you can hold off on Chessbase. Not necessary. I'll show you alternate ways to use like the same solution we are using Chessbase, which is not yet necessary, right? But anyone else, I would expect about 80 to 90% in this group, Chessbase is going to be useful. It does come with some kind of cost. So I will open both. So this is Chessbase website. Let's switch it to English. And before I do open the program, I'll show it to you. 1200, 1300 in FIDE or USCF, I would still say the same thing, right? You can be on the fence. You can say, hey, I don't know if I want to spend so much money. I just want to check it out. But one thing I definitely strongly recommend with everyone, no piracy, okay? If you really want, this is a learning tool. If you want to be good at chess, try to buy it, right? When you feel like it's right, buy it. Okay, but let's come back to the program. Chessbase 17 for let's probably in one of these. Okay, let's go to this. So usually you see all the comparisons. The program only costs about 189 euros, as you can see, 189 euros. And there's a starter package, which includes a big database. There's a mega package, which includes the mega database. And there's a premium package, which also includes a 12-month account and 6 Chessbase magazines. And Ducats, this is usually used when you go for the online, it's like online currency in Chessbase. You can use that, right? Oh yeah, so if someone is sending messages to the admin, please send it to me directly. All right, now, I would recommend anywhere between these three. Definitely, you don't need a premium package. Well, I clicked on it by mistake. Let's go back here. I would actually recommend between the starter and mega package instead of this. I think it's worth it to have a database. As you can see here, it says you are given a database when you do this, right? When you do this program only, you don't get anything other than the program. But when you buy the starter package, you get this database called Big. And you, if you buy the mega package, you got mega. Does anyone know the difference between mega database and big database? Nikhil, thank you. Big database games are not annotated. Mega database games are annotated, meaning you will find games that are annotated by Magnus Carlsen or someone else. Let's see. Okay, I have the mega database 2023, right? So for example, I see this. You see, when you look at the game information, sometimes you see this VCS. I actually don't know what it stands for, but it usually means there's commentary, right? So someone has written analysis, which I cannot understand a single word of because it seems to be in French. Is this French? Definitely looks French. It looks very exquisite, right? Some of you might know French, but at least just by the look of it, I can tell it's French. So yes, this annotation does not help me, but there are lots of annotations that will help me. Let me try to go to a, yeah, let's pick a more reasonable recent game. Yeah, so this is in both languages. It's cutting edge theory. And again, this is very small annotation. Let me see if I can pull off something that has a reasonable amount. Yeah, there are some novelties and other things, but okay, they're not too big an annotation, but at least you can see that it says Bishop G3 is a novelty that was played in 2023, right? Yes, Mega also gets update. In fact, when I'm using Chessbase, I will usually get a notification on the bottom right saying, hey, someone played a new opening novelty. And do you want to check it out? So Mega has that advantage. But like I said, I don't think you guys really need it yet. I don't think you need a day-to-day update on absolute live play. For example, if you play a solid, good opening that was played even in 1920s, I don't think it would matter at this level. What would matter? You need cutting-edge opening theory, maybe around 22,000 plus rating. Until then, I would say focus on the core concepts of the game and try to keep your opening simple. So you don't really need that much, right? So this choice, let's go back here, is between you guys. If you think you were really going to be the person who is going to look at the annotations, right now, maybe it's worth buying Mega. Otherwise, you can go back to, you can see it's a difference of about $100, right? Let me see if I can open Chessbase India and see the cost. Online shop. Softwares. Let's go to, actually, I should have gone, oh, Chessbase 17. So, for example, this is Very good price, subsidized, as you can see, 4,199 rupees. You get the software, right? This does not include the database, I'm guessing. Let's see if I can find that one that goes with the database. So this one is like the premium package. Yeah. Oh, no, this one seems like the premium pack that's like including everything. I mean, this one seems to include the ducats. I don't really think you need the ducats. The 250 ducats probably aren't required. Chessbase magazine is also like some really good annotated games. And this is about 10,000. Ridhima, that would be roughly about $120 or so. So it's a subsidized rate for India. So this is clear. I would like you guys to invest into it if you feel like you're going to spend more time on chess, because whatever you do now is the starting point of organizing, right? You're organizing this and you're putting things together. So when it grows big, you don't want to come back and redo everything, right? So that's why I said if you really have a long-term goal, invest in Chessbase. Okay. Now, the next big limitation, Chessbase does not work with Mac. A big problem I have with my students, a lot of my students only have a Mac, or the whole household only has MacBooks. They do not have Windows PC. There is no other way around it. Mac is basically Apple machines. You have an Apple laptop or an Apple desktop, MacBook or iMac, you cannot use Chessbase at this point. The only solution is a virtual machine. I have some students who have used it, but I would not recommend it. Again, if you're serious, then you might have to invest on a Windows laptop, and you might have to invest on Chessbase, invest on this, right? Now, Ben asks a very good question. How is this database in comparison to the leeches master database? Good point. You can use the leeches master database as your second option. So let's say I go to leeches. One of the things you could do is use the board and use the master database here. I don't know how many of you have done this. Let's say I play the King's Gambit, right? And then I want to check this icon, little icon, the book one. This is basically Opening Explorer. This is there in chess.com as well. This is there here as well. So there is a leeches database. There is a master database. Definitely don't go to the leeches database, which means it looks at every player who played leeches games. So you'll get a lot more games, but not a lot of quality games. So master database is what I want you to look at, right? I'll show you a comparison. For example, here, the database here says 2,159 games were played with knight f3, and then 765 with bishop c4. And it talks about the score too. White has scored 28%, black has scored 38%. You can see all of that, right? Now let's compare this with Chessbase. So I'm going to use my reference database. So when you have a database, I'll show that too. So whenever you get a database, you can right click, go to properties, and you can make that your main reference database. That means any single position you want to quickly check, it's always going to go back to your mega, right? I will talk about white and black repertoires as well, but for now, we'll focus on the reference database, right? By the way, I'm a big fan of reference database. I'll show you why in just a second. E4, E5, F4, pawn takes, and I'm going to turn the reference on. Let's see what data we get here. Now, I get 17,000 games with knight f3, but not necessarily only master. Obviously, this opens up higher level too. I mean, like lower level games too. Compared to what, 2,000? So usually there's a difference in number of games, for sure, right? Nakshatra wants to know what is the difference between Chessbase Reader and Chessbase 17. So Nakshatra, Chessbase Reader has been discontinued. If you have an old version, I don't know if you can still use it. If you're able to use it, good. The difference between Chessbase Reader and the Chessbase regular software is Chessbase Reader does not allow you to save anything. You can see stuff, but you cannot save anything, right? In fact, I would recommend Chessbase 15 or older, like because there are some updates that I remember which would be better. So I would say the minimum version you can go back to is probably Chessbase 15. Raghav, yeah, Chessbase 12 is okay, but I would say stick above 15. Now, here's a fact. sometimes I don't feel like I need to upgrade. So I will be in 17, they will publish 18. And honestly, I don't know if I really want to get the 18. But it turns out that, of course, this is how most of the products are marketed. That's what they do, is that if you don't end up the 17 by the 18, and then now you want to get the 19 because now Chessbase 19 comes out and you like a lot of features in there, they'll end up charging you more for the upgrade, right? So at this point, I figured out making the upgrade is worth it, right? So I'm still just kind of doing that. Every year I upgrade my Mega, I upgrade my Chessbase whenever new Chessbase comes out. Yeah. Now, the next point is, again, if you're not a serious player and you're just enjoying chess and you're not so sure, you can survive with Leeches Master Database. You can see what games are played here and what moves are good. You can compare it with your own game to see did you make a mistake or did you do a good move. You can use the engine. This is okay. But this is not good for higher level chess organization, which is what I'm going to talk to you about next. So now that we started talking about reference database, one of my favorite tools in Chessbase and database. So let's just go a little bit in depth into it, right? As you can see, the first data point you want to see is the number of games. Yeah. The next thing I would see is not the score. I usually don't even look at it. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but this 17,000 games might have only like, I don't know, 5,000 games above 2,200. The rest might be lower rated players, and their game could have ended for any number of reasons, not because of this opening. So I don't want to get that data skewed. So usually I don't look at the score too much. For example, look at this. Queen G4. Here's a perfect example. 5 games have been played, and white has scored 70%. Do you think we should play that? What do you guys think? No, definitely not, right? I'm not going to play Queen G4 because this is not only for chess guys. I hope you can also use this lesson for life. Today, we live in a world where there's a lot of information out there. And you need to know how to filter the information. You need to know which information has what value. Which information can you trust, right? I cannot trust Queen G4 because I don't see a single grandmaster name there. I don't see any top players who have played it. And I simply see 70% score. That's not good enough data, right? The more GMs and the more top players I see, the more my confidence is. I'm going to look at knight f3 and say, I'm not going to think 1 second if this is a good or a bad move, because look at how many players have played this. That reinforces my idea that this is good. So particularly for opening preparation, I will not waste my time checking and rechecking this, right? I will never turn the engine on here, right? I can, and then try to find the best move, right? Looks like some people have done that too. Depth 71, knight f3. But this is redundant. I don't want to do this because I know for a fact that Magnus and Nepo have, 100 times more powerful engine than I do. So why do I need to check it again with a local engine here? They use cloud engines and other things, right? Of course, occasionally you will find this rare novelty that nobody has found, and people are looking for novelty. But trust me, you're not in a position at this point to look for novelty. You don't need to. All you need to do is establish what is already there and follow it, right? So my confidence is really high. I'm going to click on it. Now look at this. I want you to remember this hotness, right? Sometimes there might be a move which is played less. Like, for example, take knight f6. It has 1,701 games, whereas G5 has 4,249 games. But I can see the hotness is still probably higher than that. You see the width of the bar? That usually means it's more trendy. I'll give you an example. Let's say there is a position that was played for hundreds of years. Alekhine used to play it. Capablanca used to play it. And there are thousands of games. But 2 years ago, NVL came up with a novelty in that line, and it has become trendy now. People are playing it, right? There are only 100 games played in that by the new set of players, but they're all 2,700. So what Chessbase will do for you is it'll tell you, listen, the other one move has thousands of moves, but this one has only 100 games, but it's actually more trendy. It's played by more stronger players in recent times. So I'm a big fan of this hotness. And this is another reason I said Chessbase 15. If I remember right, before Chessbase 15, you won't have this. There's also another reason why I want you to invest, if possible, on mega database, right? Now, let's go through this. For example, I'm going to go through actually G5. And let's follow this. Okay, so the top move, also the most hot option is going in there, right? I'm going to keep moving it, right? This is Chessbase 17, Raghav. G4, 95. And now a clear trend. You see, it says that D6 exclamation point with an upward trend played by Carlsen, Anand, Shirov, Robson. So even though knight f6 is the main move, I am going to also consider d6 as an important move. Either if I'm playing this for black or for white, either ways, I am going to look at d6. So a lot of times it kind of leads you into what could be a good move, right? Now, I will tell you one downside of this. Sometimes it gives you trendy lines and it says, hey, this is an awesome line. And you will go there and you'll find out that a lot of these games were actually blitz or bullet. So let's check this. So look at that. The first thing, right, is that this was a blitz game. Let's see the second one. This is a rapid game. I trust rapid a lot more than blitz and bullet because the rapid game, all the top players, they're not going to play some random thing. Blitz, they might experiment a lot, but not in rapid, right? Let's see what Nepo's game is. Blitz. So sometimes this data is skewed by blitz and bullet. I wish they fixed that. I actually don't know. Maybe someone in Chessbase will be able to give you more information. As far as I know, I don't have a clear way to separate it. It seems to mix in with the regular games and the rapid games, which I'm not a big fan of. Yeah. So what I would do is I would use this to keep going through the moves. And eventually when I run out of moves, right? So for example, I still see a bunch of top players. I'm just following this opening. And now the moves are splitting a little bit. Let's go to the second one, more trendy one. And then knight c6 again, a very trendy move. But as you can see now, the number of games have gone down. And also the number of strong players have also gone down. I like 3 or 4 games here, right? So the trust level for me now is going down. Right? Will I blindly play this? Probably not. Now is a good time for you to just kind of turn the engine on while you're playing your opening out. Now, I want to make a very clear distinction, right? You can only use engine like this for opening preparation. Now, with all my students, I have this problem, so I'm going to reiterate this very, very clearly. I'm showing you how to use this, but this is extremely bad if you keep using engine for your middle game and end game without putting in your own effort, right? Hopefully that's very, very clear. Opening prep, you can use reference, you can use engine. And with that, include training games. Get the reference database moves, check with the engine, create an opening file, now find a player, and then go play games. See how you feel, right? Because the engine would say equal, but when you play it, you will find out how hard it is, right? So that is how I would say you have to prepare your openings. Mostly the ideal process for preparing openings in Chessbase. There might be very clear opening prep ideas too. So GM Ramesh has a lecture on that. I put one for him. I know he's going to be doing that because his opening prep is at a much higher level. So you can see if you can do that at that point. Yeah. For now, I would say this opening level prep is good. Use reference, check some with the engine, create your opening files, but mostly go play a lot of games. And that's how you prep your opening. Yeah. Ridhima, good question. Can you use engine for understanding middle game? You can use engine anytime, only after you're done thinking. This is my rule with my students. If you play a game, you want to analyze the game. First thing is look at the position and have some curiosity, right? Have some feeling, hey, what is going on here? Try to solve it. Try to look for some time and try to solve some things. And then to validate your move, turn the engine on. Now, when I say have some curiosity, it's not having a curiosity for 2 seconds. It's not looking at it for 2 seconds or 5 seconds saying, hey, I don't have the answer, so I should check with the engine. No, right? Don't do that. Again, I'm going to be honest. When I come back from a tournament game, do I check the engine? Yes, I do, but only at very, very specific points. So you finish a game, you will come back, you'll be wondering, did I make a mistake here? Was I winning here? Was I losing here, right? Now, ideal world, you should not check the engine at all. Leave some time to analyze the whole game and then check the engine. But in here, I would say in in a more realistic way, I can understand that you guys will be very, very curious to know what happened. So if you're checking the results, if you're checking the engine to say, did you make a blunder or did your opponent make a blunder quickly, then that's fine. But only at those critical points. Don't run the engine on. So that's, again, a mistake I see with my students. Engine on, they input the whole game. The curiosity is dead. Not a single position you have to think about, did you make a good move or a bad move later? Your analysis is over. How can you analyze anything? Because you already have the information. So the way I do it, I'll put the moves on, engine will be off, right? I'll get to a certain point and say, hey, this is where I wanted to find out. I'll turn the engine on and I'll turn it off again. So you have to have this habit of doing this, yeah? By the way, I will also show you how to integrate Stockfish into Chessbase today when we do that, yeah? What do I do? And so when your opponent is taking you off the line, Joshua, the only thing you can do is count on your actual core chess skills, which is why you're in Pro Chess, to build that, right? Calculation, planning, understanding the position, creating plans and stuff like that, right? Now let me come back here and I'll also show you one more thing. There is something called live database. You hit enter on the board, you will always get something called a live database. So this one is actually free. If you don't pay for a database, and if you only buy this one, let's say you buy just the Chessbase program, it will not come with any database. In that case, you can use what I said is the live database. You hit enter. I think there should be another way to open it. I'm trying to see. I forgot exactly. But enter is a shortcut. I'm so used to using it by hitting enter that I forgot exactly how to open it from the top. But basically, I'll show it again. I'll close this, right? And I'll go back to restore game. Wait, what just happened? Okay, let's close this too. Let's go to view and open our notation back. Okay, so we're back in the game. And I'm just going to hit the enter button in my keyboard. And whoa, that was a fail. Let's try it again. Yeah, there it is. And my chess window, of course, for whatever reason, became super small. You can rearrange the layout whichever way you like, guys. Yeah, you can do it. Opening book, I'll talk about it in just a second, Summer. Yeah, we'll come to that. So the live database is free. It keeps updating on a regular basis, so you can just use it whenever you want. But you don't have these, what should I say? You don't have the hotness and other things that are part of the reference. I know a lot of students who use live database too, so that's possible. Yeah. Yeah, online database, exactly. Now let's close this part and let's come back here. And I think someone was asking about opening book. So if you have an opening book, you can load that here. That will tell you what is right. I think I don't even know if anyone uses this as much. I've never really clicked on this much. Never really used this so much. Yeah, I don't even think I use the live book here. Reference is the main thing. I've used replay training once in a while. We'll get to replay training a little bit. So the way replay training works is that you can set up a game and then you can go and try to do this. Let's pick a game. Let's actually go to Mega Database. Oh, I removed the text format. Okay, let's see. I'm going to close this. Okay, I think the first thing is this. Oh yeah, introduction. Okay, it seemed to open in a different thing. Let me bring it here. Okay, let's say I'm going to go to top tournaments. Let's click on World Championships. Let's go to something old. How about very old? Let's go to Alekine Capablanca. I like that one. So it kind of takes me directly to this set of games. By the way, you can search the game directly too, but they have one introduction page which will kind of lead you through in an easier way. That's all. Yeah. Okay, so I got all these games. I am going to wait. How do I go to the games? That's annoying. I forgot how that happens. Oh, I clicked on game stable. Let's try to see if there's anything else. See, even I forget a lot of these things. Oh, maybe can I click on this? Oh, yes, there you go. I click on one of the game and I get to this game, right? So Capablanca beat Alekhine 1927, right? So what I could do here is I could do replay training here. So what this will do is let me guess all the moves. I don't know what's going on with the layout here. So let's see. It's actually showing me the answer, is it? Okay, let's remove this. And let's remove this. Well, play as white is good. I don't know if I wanted to talk. Okay, let's go this. Oh yeah, no more hints. So right now it says that I have 10 out of 10. It's also comparing my move with engine. So basically you can kind of train to see if you're doing really well. Let's try this. Okay, looks like that was not the move. G3 was played. I mean, usually I won't do the opening part of this, right? Let me go back to notation. If I want to do this, I'll go somewhere, let's say here. Right? Let's do this. I don't know if you guys saw the answer. What do you think Capablanca did here? I think the move seems reasonable. Yes, Summer. I think that's what it is. I'll wait for a few more seconds for everyone to answer. I didn't even know queen b4 was possible. Maybe queen b4 rook c8 is also an interesting option, but I think rook c6 is what you would have played. Let's try it. Fair enough. Okay, so do I pick up the bishop? Looks like I should. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So you can use replay training like this. Yeah. This is how you should do replay training. Now, I would use it mainly for middle game purposes with classics or world champions or grandmasters. That's how I would do it. I think that's a good way to use replay training for Chessbase. Now, let's go in an order, right? I'm going to go to the basics of Chessbase. One of the main reasons I want my students to have Chessbase is to simply organize the files. So, oh yes, we can definitely use this for opening prep too. Like you can do it, like you set up your opening repertoire and then you kind of try to play it out, right? Amog, yeah, that's possible. But the opening prep, right? I forget the name of the software. I know you can do it online. So let's try to go here. Chessbase online. I know they have this thing, but it's not really popular. I don't see a lot of people. So if you have a G, it's like this is my online Chessbase online account. And if I go here, you got a lot of tools here too. There are some videos and you can store games too. But one thing when they came out with this, I thought was cool was if I launched the opening tool, they have something called a drill. So this is like your opening prep. you feed your opening database to the your file. So you can say theory white and theory black. Like you can put your personal line in here and you mark the move, and then you say drill. Now it's going to make me play my moves, and it's going to make me looks like I'm still playing my opening. Let's play a wrong move. Okay, end of theory. Yeah, I don't know. I've not used this too much. I don't know if it's following my thing or it's following something, but it's saying that it's like replay training. You're right, yeah. A lot of these things, guys, I would say explore. What I'm showing you today is options. And there is no one solution that fits all. I repeat this to all my students. Just because Magnus did it, just because Pragnananda did it, just because Abhimanyu did it, it doesn't mean it has to work for you. Just go explore some of these options, right? Try to see what works for you. What do you like the most? And then you might be able to find the one that helps you the most. Now, let's come back to the organizing part. What do I do with Chessbase? I create databases. Ideally, let's create a folder. Let's say a temporary folder. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I just created a temporary chess folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create new files here, right? Well, I just created a folder in the computer. This is nothing to do with Chessbase, not yet. Okay, that's why it froze my screen. Now let's say what I want to do. The first thing I want you guys to do is create different databases, different buckets where you can start pouring the information properly, right? And this has worked beautifully with my students because you have to have your database. Like, so let me show my database before I create a new one. So this is one of my databases. It has 1,328 games since the day I started playing. Now, I try to put in as many games as possible, and you will see that because you see, I even put in the Blitz tournaments. Carolina Classic Blitz, I have the games. Cherry Blossom Blitz. Now, how do I do it? After the games are done, I come back to the room and immediately update the game because there's no way you're going to remember the Blitz tournament games if it's a day or two after. You might remember some games. So, for example, I played Reykjavik Blitz. I've added that. I kind of extremely feel this is important. This is my perspective. Data, right? Every game over the board, Blitz, Rapid, real game, that's data, right? And all your decisions have to be based on data. Because if you look at the data and it says that you're making a certain kind of mistake, then you can work on it, right? Half the time you're intuitively thinking, I'm probably making a mistake like this. That's your feeling. It might be good sometimes, it might be wrong sometimes. But if you actually look at the data, which is your set of games, it might say, hey, you are outperforming all of your other openings when your opponent plays Sicilian. You're scoring 70%. But you're scoring maybe, I don't know, 10% when it's Alekine's defense. Now I will dig into it. I'll see, okay, what is it that I'm doing? So let's create actually that dossier. Let's go to players. So if I open any database, I can do that. So for example, I'm going to say, yeah, let's create one for myself. I looked up my name. I'm creating one. The kind of data I was talking about. Okay, opened up another screen. By the way, it's available everywhere, so I don't mind sharing this. I know a lot of students are very worried about sharing some information. There you go. I got also one more page here. So let's bring this one. Okay, so it says, I'm only 40. This is wrong. Big problem. I'm going to have a big problem with Chessbase with this. This is not fair. I talks about my graph, but most importantly, I think you can see my statistics, right? I score well with white, 71% and 62%. But it's also possible that I'm playing mostly lower-rated players. So that's what it is. And it also shows my graph through the years. Maybe somewhere around 2010, I played the most number of games. Top players. I played Grandmaster Arun Prasad like the most 8 games, four draws or something. But look at this. It says that I am playing really well against the French. I didn't even know that. It says I'm playing at my highest around mid 2500 performance. And apparently, I'm playing the lowest when I play 1d4. So maybe I should stop playing 1d4. Yeah? I don't know. Again, I will not trust this data 100%. I will take this, I will look deeper into the data to see what is happening, right? And for me, it makes some sense because I have 39 games. I don't have like one game. I don't have like 4 games. So it's not too bad for me to look at this data, yeah? Now, black repertoire, it says that I am probably scoring best at 24. So my black performance already is pretty bad. As you can see, all of them are under 2,500. And this is the lowest. Oh, looks like Italian is the opening. So if you guys play me in a simul, maybe that's what you want to do, right? It shows some of my spectacular games, annotated games. So yeah, my actual rating now, Ridhima, has dropped down. I'm like 2450 now. My peak was like 2590, but yeah, it became like, it went low. Now, this is a dossier that you can create for any player if you own mega database. Advantage of having mega database, right? So your preparation is not just about seeing their opening. You can actually study their performance. You can study their playing style and other things, right? Now, let's close this part. The next thing you're getting with my preparation is this. It gives me all my white and black games. So when I'm playing white, this is what I'm getting. I have played 342 games with E4, 184 with Knight F3, but clearly that's more recent. That's on the dot. I would say the last 4 or 5 years, I play knight f3 a lot more. As you can see in 2023, I'm playing knight f3, not much this. And it shows all my games. You can basically go through each and every line and see who I played against, right? A more good question. This level of preparation only works when your opponents have played a lot of FIDE events. And so it might be very useful for people who live in India because I think a lot of the games are FIDE rated and they actually go into the database. But in US, if you're rated about 1500, don't expect to find too many games of your opponents. Don't expect this to work very well at this point, right? Avian, I'm not giving you remote control of my screen right now. Sorry. Okay. So anyways, it shows my white games. It shows my black games. So it's a very easy way to prepare. But again, Amog asked a good question. You cannot do this if you're playing against someone, not very highly rated. Like for example, right? Let's prepare against someone. How about this? Let's prepare against Grandmaster Nerditsky. What do you guys think? Should we do it? Let's try to beat him. Daniel Nerditsky, Danya. So I'm going to go to players and I'm going to put in Nerditsky. Okay, so we got Daniel. It says the mega database has 1,879 games of him. And let's check his dossier. Let's see what openings he's good at, what he's bad at. Maybe some of you will play him in a blitz run or something, and you can use this. And then you can give me the credit that I helped you beat him. All right, so there you go. We got this. Let's see his main page. Okay, there it is. 29 years old, and his rating is best is 2647. He's pretty active. Well, not in 2022 or anything like that, right? He's a top grandmaster from US. Is one of the top blitz and bullet players, Raghav. He also is a very common, like popular chess.com commentator. Is a very big online presence. He has multiple books written. He's a graduate from Stanford. Danya's like brilliant. So, anyways, let's see what openings he might be weak at. Look at that. When he plays white and he plays knight f3, he's only playing at a 25-43. So if you compare this with my repertoire, my good day and his bad day, I'm beating him, right? But if you against d4, d5, he's playing at a 27-13 level with 70 games, right? Big. Let's see his black. Oh, look at that. We found something really bad for him. 68 games at 23-55. So he's playing e4, c5, knight f3, d64. Oh, knight off. So actually, it's not even knight off yet. It just played knight f6. It's not even started. Like a6 has not been played yet. Yeah. It could be dragon. It could be classical. It could be Seven Engine. But it looks like that's one weak spot. Again, I won't 100% blindly follow this data, but this is what I can use, right? Now, let's pick one player from this class to see if I can find your games. Does anyone want to volunteer? Who wants to volunteer for this? I'm going to search you guys up to see if you are available in Chessbase. Okay. All right. The first person to give me is, okay, I see 2 or 3 people. I think the first one is Ridhima. Let's see, Ridhima, if I can find you. Okay, I'm going to go to players. I'm going to type in Mishra and Ridhima. Let's see. I couldn't find any of your games in the database. No, unfortunately, Ridhima. Let's see. The next one I'm going to try is Nenthiran. Balaji. Nenthiran. Nope. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to try someone who's given me a full name. Zhao Liu. Okay, let's try Liu Zhao. Liu Zhao. Oh, there you go. Look at that. First hit. We got 13 games. Grand Carolina Online Blitz on leeches. We got something on leeches. I'm not going to check all of yours. I know a lot of you put in your name, guys. I was just doing this for fun, just to show you. If you did not play something, wait, Avian, can we stop annotating on my screen, please? How did you get that? How did you find a way to do that? I have to figure out a way to stop this. I don't even know how to do it. Okay, we'll figure this out. Maybe admins, you can help me clear out the annotations. All right, so going back, I got so yeah, this is how I can search. There's one more way to search, is also directly right click. I go search, and here I have the really nice search box. By the way, I wanted to talk about organizing. I've not even gotten to that. That's like the most important part, so I don't want to skip that. But I will talk about the search tool, which is very useful, very quickly, right? So I go to advanced search. And the good thing about Chessbase is you can kind of check anything and everything that you want. By the way, guys, stop annotating on my screen right now, please. Thank you. If I see someone annotating, I'm going to kick you out of the meeting now. Okay. All right. You can look for any names of players. Find anything that you want here. You can actually plug in positions, right? For example, I want to know what position can we search? A famous position. Let's see if we can pull up a famous position and get it. Yeah, good question. Lucena position. Okay, let's put the king here. Let's put the pawn over here. We did practical rook and pawn in game some time back. Now I want to check this right now. Again, I'm going to get a lot of hit, I think. So let's say I want to check this only from the year 2020. Yeah. Let's see how many Lucena positions have showed up since 2020. I'm going to hit search. That was sad. What did I do wrong? It says there's nothing. 0 results. That cannot be right. How is that right? Did I add anything else in there? Okay, position. There's no way no one played it. I just refuse to believe that. Okay, let's remove this. Oh, look at that. 1859. I think this one is good. What? For only one game? Even that with multiple other pawns. But you see the exact replica of this kind of happened, right? So I'm not so sure why they didn't pick it up. No one is apparently getting this exact Lucena position. But the search tool is very useful for me, guys. I can find specifically top players' games. So I'll reset this. Sometimes I can even get end games that I want. Like, let's say I want king and pawn in games. So I'm going to say 2 pawns to 2 pawns. So white has 2 pawns, black has 2 pawns, only king and pawn in game, right? So the rest are all 0. And in game data, I'm going to say both players have to be at least 2,500. So grandmasters who got a king and pawn game with just 2 pawns, right? Let's see if we can get it. I hope we got some. Okay, look at that. So we're getting a lot of games. Let it finish here on the bottom right. I'm seeing that it's finishing it. Why is there 2 boxes? I don't know, actually. All right. Ooh, hold on. I'm hopefully not running an engine somewhere in the back. I'm not. I don't know why it says my system is running low on resources. I hope Chessbase doesn't crash. Sometimes it does. Okay, let's click on it. Look at this. This king and pawn game with 1. So anything less than 2 pawns are all these games. So sometimes you will get amazing positions. This is Carpo Miles. I guess transition here. So you can search up stuff. Like you can explore. If you have Chessbase, it's like having your own personal coach sitting in front of you. Like imagine a grandmaster sitting in front of you and you're asking, hey, can you tell me a good king and pawn in game position? And then they show you something, right? Now this is like you having that in front of you. Just go in there, search whatever you want, right? Now there's another beauty that I like. Again, I'm going to take a detour. Let's pick a position that's more. All right, let's do this one. Yuri Shulman, no. No. Okay, let's try this. So this game ended in a draw. Yeah? Daniel Fridman, Michael Adams, 2 versus 1. White played this and draw. Now I want to find more endgames like this because I want to study. I'm going to go to report and I'm going to say similar endgames. I'm going to click on similar endgames and now it's beginning to search on the bottom. It might actually ask me a question before it does it. Again, I hope Chessbase doesn't come crashing on me, and it did. Just when I said it. Okay. Admin, can we figure out a way to stop them from annotating on my screen, please? I see people are just randomly writing stuff, and I would like to just kick them out. I've given them a warning. Guys, one more time, if you don't clear this out, I'm going to kick you out of the meeting because you're disrupting the class. I don't even know how to clear out this annotations. Does anyone know how to clear it, guys? Okay, there's some. The next name I see on this, yeah, I just erased it. Next name I see on this, you're getting kicked out of the meeting. All right, let's go back. My Chessbase crashed, so which means I'll have to reopen it. So we were doing, well, this game, I don't know if anyone recognizes this position. I was showing this for one of the games. Let's go back. What were we doing? We were talking about search similar endgames, right? Actually, I'm just going to just set up a board and try to search for similar endgames. So let's say clear the board, and I want to study some basic king and pawn endgame situation like this. All right, so I want to, like, let's say I came across this, and then I want to now search this up. I'm going to go to report, and I'm going to say similar endgames, and let's see now if this works. I'm going to hit OK. And this is beautiful because, again, when you want to learn something, you can use all these tools. Just find information or find games which are very similar to that, right? Yes, I'm going to actually show that too, Nit. Let me do that. After this, I'm definitely jumping on that. I know we're running out of time. All right, thanks. So let's look at the games. So for example, in these games, this exact position happened. Look at that. Exact position happened. Now, Chessbase is smart enough to show me the same position with colors reversed. So against this game where 2293 against 2200, they got this position, except the difference is black is doing the same thing that white did, right? So I can see, so this one now it says very similar position, but the pawns on the next file. Very useful to study, right? All right, now I'm actually going to go to the most important part of saving the files and creating the files, because I think we decided that's kind of important. Or I was saying that's kind of important. First thing is, let's create new files. I'm going to create a new database. Okay, I'm going to go to documents, and I'm going to go to, where is the chess folder temp? Yeah. Okay, so first start thing is you need to know two different database files. One is CBH and one is PGN. Now there's a 2CBH, which is very similar to CBH. I actually don't even know what the difference is. All you have to know is if your file is small and simple, which is what most of you are going to have, just use PGN for now. Everyone in this class, for now, just use PGN. PGN is like a text file. I'll show you. So I'm going to say Magesh Games. And I'm going to create a new PGN. So now I have a PGN and I open it and there's 0 games in it, right? So let's save a game. I'm going to the board, open a new board, and now I'm going to play a move out. Let's say we do Fool's Mate. Hopefully I was not playing white. Let's save this game. I'm going to go to the save and save game as. So like save will save it to the active database. Save game as will ask me which database I want to choose. Now, I don't want to choose any of these. So I'm going to go to other. I'm going to go to my documents. and I'm going to go to, where is the chess folder temp? And this is where I'm going to save this. And I am definitely going to put myself as black. Who's the lucky one who's going to be white? Let's see. I'm going to pick someone. Who got fool's mated today? Okay, let's just say NN. No one wants to be white for this one. So last name, first name, tournament is Pro Chess Test. And I can give the rating and round number, all of this. I would usually say do all of that, right? The result is 0-1, saved. So now this game is saved. And if you pick a player who has a profile, Chessbase will automatically pull that. All right, I'm going to close this. Now, if I go to Magesh Games, you see I already have one game, the one that we just saved. I can keep adding more and more and more to this. Now, in the folder, in a regular computer folder, this is how it's going to look like. PGN will only generate 3 files. PGN database, and configuration settings. If somebody says, I want to see your games, all you have to do is go to an email, attach PGN file, and send it. And you're done. It's easy, right? Now, let's say I want to create a new database. This time, I'm going to create a Chessbase file. Magesh, Chessbase. Chessbase games. I'm going to say create new. Now, the layout of Chessbase is all very straightforward. Like, for example, I can drag and drop. I'm going to drag and drop this into this one. So the same game is saying, do you want to copy the game? I'm going to say, okay. And there you go, copied, right? So now I have this one here. Now I'll show you what happened in the folder. Look at how many databases it created. How many files? So there's one main Chessbase database, but then there's a bunch of supporting files that came with it. Now, if you want to send this to anyone, you cannot just send this. You have to compress it. That's why it's more complicated. Like, for example, what you would do here is you would go to this one, you would right click, go to tools, and you'll say backup database. I'll click on backup database. You can even encrypt it. If it's an opening file you're sending, you want to put a password to it, you can. I hit OK. And it's saying, do you want to save it here? I say yes. Done. And now I have a CBV file, which is right here. This you can email to anyone. So that's the difference between a Chessbase file and a PGN file. Now, like I said, in this class, just use PGN for now, right? I am going to remove all the Chessbase files I created right now by going to delete physically, and get rid of it. Now, if I go here, all of them are gone. Now, anytime you want to delete something in Chessbase, it's a 2-step process. I know it's a bit confusing. We'll have a recording for this. In fact, if it's possible, I'll try to put this recording in our YouTube channel so you guys can actually watch it anytime you want. You have to practice this. You have to do a bit of this, right? It might be overwhelming right now, but when you do more and more and more, it's just practice, right? Now, I will show you the delete aspect. If I hit delete, it will just do this. Chessbase has a 2-step delete process because they don't want you to accidentally delete again. So if you do this, one way to do it is when I close it, it will ask you, do you want to remove the deleted games? Let's say I say no. The other way to do it is I can right click, go to tools, and say remove deleted games. So you cannot accidentally delete a game that you spent hours putting in just by hitting delete by mistake, right? So that's a good thing that they have. But it's also challenging sometimes because when you're trying to get rid of a game and it just doesn't go. Now, if you want to undelete it, press delete again. Now you're back. So that game is back now. Now, how many databases do you need usually? One for your games. I would like one more for training games. Let's say Magesh, training games. Everything you can organize, guys. I would love for you to do that. So anytime you play blitz, practice games, training games, only store them into this database. Now, I would definitely say you need opening repertoire. Let's create one for white. We got white repertoire. I'm going to create one more, obviously this time for black repertoire. There you go. So now I have files for each. So whenever you create something, you know where to put these things. You have created buckets, right? So now it's easy to just throw things into your buckets. It's how you separate laundry. It's easy now, right? And usually the white repeater and black repeater can also come in handy. For example, let's say I create two very quick files here. I'm going to say I want to create a file for Alakine. After knight f6, I'm actually going to play this, and I'm going to play g3, just like random stuff, okay? So I will save game as, actually, it's giving me options right here, so I don't have to go to the folder. I'm going to click white repeater. I'm going to say Alakine 3.g3. And I have this, right? It's saved now. Now I'm also going to say, I want to create one more file where I play knight c3, right? I'll say overwrite. I'm going to save this one. White repeater, Alakine 3, knight c3. And I'll play one more move just for fun. And I'll close this. I saved it. By the way, I press Control S to do a shortcut. Now inside white repeater, I have Alakine 3g3 and Alakine 3 knight c3, right? So whatever I want to prepare for the 3g3, I'll keep feeding into that file. Knight c3 into that file. So now your repeater can grow, right? Summer, I do not put games into my repeater. I don't. If I want one more, what I would do is I would create another one and I would call it model games, and I would say Alakine. And I would throw my model games into that. So I can create model games Sicilian, model games Alakine, model games, all of that. So just kind of throw that into that. I know it's a lot, but you kind of organize it in that way, right? Now, one last thing before we wrap it up is that when I go to any board, actually, let me do this. I'm going to go to my white repeater. I'm going to right click properties, and I'm going to make this my repeater for white, right? Now I go to a board and I play e4 and knight f6. And now I don't know what I'm supposed to play here. I forgot. Well, I can click on this and it'll pull up. Well, it's supposed to pull up. I don't know why it's not pulling up here. It should pull up that game where we have e5. Let me play e5 and then try to click on this again. Oh, there you go. I think I have to play white's move and then that's something. So now it says that, hey, I went through your opening repertoire and I found two lines that you've created for this. So any game you're playing, you can just hit on white repertoire, black repertoire. It'll go back to your repertoire, fetch your games and bring it back. So again, I think we have gone through a lot. I know it can be overwhelming, but let me give you a couple of important things. Use Chessbase to really organize your files, create your own database for games, create your opening repertoires, and also use Chessbase to explore. Use the mega database, use the live database, look for end games, look for similar middle games. You can do a lot of stuff. For now, you can just start with this. Yeah. Raghav, you have a question? Maybe I can take one question before I wrap it up. Do we put any game we play on Chessbase? Of course you do. I told you, right? The games that you put should be on your Magesh games or Magesh training games. It should go into one of these two buckets. All right. With that, I'm going to wrap up, guys. I will see you all in a future class. Take care. Bye-bye.